Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to cover a thread that I came across recently, and it is titled, Aggrend refuses to turn on the ICC buff. I thought this thread was just absolutely crazy to be talking about it, posting it, bringing it up after, they make it sound like Aggrend just said this, and it's something that he said over a month ago at the launch of SE, and honestly, it's just, it blows my mind that people are this, delusional almost to not bring it up and to take something that he said a month ago and try to apply it to right now after we've had so many nerfs, changes, and people are so geared, and the power spike is unreal. But without further ado, let's switch it over to the thread. I'll see you there. Voop. So here is the thread. It says, as per his Blue Sky, let it known, this was 3 days ago this guy posted this, and this Blue Sky post is a month ago, and we'll go directly to the Blue Sky post. Being honest, when we think it is needed and not before, we aren't sure it's needed yet. We're looking at rating data over week over week, and the rating population is increasing rather than decreasing, so we need to be more careful to respect the progression of groups working through it before we nerf more. But we are watching it very carefully. Calderon is still hard, but not impossible for groups that aren't run 25. Luckily, it is very easy to recruit right now if you want a few more people to help get over the hill. So again, before we pull that trigger, we're taking a measured approach. Very disheartening to hear how out of touch he is. The ICC buff would be optional and would allow the majority of raiders to be able to handle the raid with 20 as intended instead of the 30-40 for scraps of loot to be fought for. And then he even says, I do not know a single player who would opt not to take the easier path to loot if you were offered it. If you add a stacking debuff to boss HP or damage, or increase player HP and damage, the only people who would choose not to are players with the full raid group of best in slot that want to parse. So no, it would not be optional. All it would do is make the victory you feel cheapened. We do not need the Scarlet Enclave to be Classic's form of raid finder. We eventually, and where everyone eventually completes it, because they just showed up in AFK till it was done for them. It's supposed to be the pinnacle, not the easiest. So that's a very well said post right there. This dude says the ego of this guy's oppressive. The funny part is he doesn't even play SOD if WoW at all. This is actually just straight delusional. I know for a fact Aggrend does play it. I know he plays SOD. I know he has like 3 or 4 characters at max level that he raids on for a fact. Not going to disclose their names or anything like that, but I know for a fact he plays SOD, so it's just goes to show you how delusional people are. This is 100% about drawing out content bloaters, slowly nerfing encounters and increasing loot drops. You have the option to bring more players. What's the harm in letting more people in the raid? Honestly, they need to tune Calderon for 20 man to fix interactions on the fight. Blind into a tank stun is such a bad design. I mean, just turn away. If you can't turn away, you're just bad. Like, I've been blinded maybe twice ever, and I main tank it every week. Adds generating threat on healers before they are in range of any tank or interrupt. Healers can be LOS by the pillars if they just stack on the altar that Calderon is at. Once again, then all the ads run out. Same with this. Mages sniping from outside 21 nameplate is no fun. Once again, if everyone is forward a little, LOSs the mobs, they will literally run into that 21-yard range. Divine Offering needs to be increased in cast or be less punishing. I don't even know what Divine Offering is. I think they mean execution sentence, but yeah. Phase 1 is harder, is the harder phase, and Phase 2 is utter boredom. I do agree with that. Phase 1 is really hard. Every time we've gotten to Phase 2, we have killed the boss, so it is cool. Then we have the forum favorite, Arcanos. Bro is always typing. I think if he spent more time recruiting instead of typing about how much he hates SE, he might actually clear the raid. It's insane to me that he admits basically people need 25 plus to down the boss. Like, what the F is that? This is a 20-man raid, right? It would imply a tune for 20 players. Increasing population, probably for the fascination for the new raid. Meanwhile, new raid groups are crumbling. My other tank in my raid just said screw this and isn't showing up next week because loot distribution is that bad. Like, Jesus, cater to your players. That the players that have tried to have progressed. Let us do the dang content. Hey, Dev, yes, you reading this. Yes, you. Consider these changes. The majority of your player plays literally begs you. Literally 90% of the threads and forums the past few weeks have been asking for raids to be tuned to 20, yet Aggrend says, nah, bring 25. Honestly, I'll talk about my experience in a moment, and then here's that. Don't you get bored of it whining all the time? I took a week back from this forum to enjoy Clara Obscura, and I came back, and you're still whining about the same stuff. Dads are doing 7 out of 8 bosses pretty easily. There's one boss that's slightly challenging with the changes to chalice fragments and chalice drops. Everyone is going to have 6-piece next reset, which is going to trivialize SE. SOD is basically done next week. Everyone will kill Calderon, and that will be it. What's the rush? I literally don't get it. Really, honestly, truly, what's the rush to be completely done with SOD 1 week earlier? We've been playing SOD for more than a year now, but it has to be over today and not next week. What's the point? Very well said on that. But anyway, let's go over to the Blue Sky thread and show you this. So this is the thread they are talking about, where he talks about all this stuff, and it is a month old. I have looked. I can't find any other blue posts that he is talking about, so watching about back and forth about the raid being too hard. There was no PTR. The gear you get from SE is dramatically better than max gear. By the time you get your 8 out of 8 set, you'll do between 25 to 40% more damage. At full base, you'll be doing 50% more damage, killing 1 or 2 bosses the first lockout, then 2 to 3 the next lockout gets your 25 plus very strong items. We have a system in place for that. After a time, we will allow you to gain a buff that will make it easier, similar to ICC. We don't want to flip this on yet, but we are discussing the timing for it. We'll likely make an announcement on that soon. Anyway, this isn't a get good post, just an acknowledgement of the culture shock. We expected this to a degree, but we want to see what you're capable of. If you think it is too hard, fair enough. Give us time to get it figured out by the community and take another shot. We really want your progression through this content to be satisfying, and part of the satisfaction comes from overcoming a challenge. It's tough to make content that has, in some form or another, been well known for years. Truly hard, but truly new content deserves a bit more friction. You should feel no rush or pressure to get through this content fast. Take your time, share info with each other, keep at it. It will get easier over time, either through you making incremental progress to gear up or mechanics we put in to make it easier. It's been 24 hours. Let it breathe. Last thing I'll say is SOD, everything in SOD, this is an experiment. Find those boundaries. It has been an implement to us and still has. Appreciate all the feedback we've gotten so far, both positive and critical. We're incredibly excited to see guilds see the entire raid and story play out. And then we got this comment from Beatrix, obviously probably the best comment that I've read on this thread. SOD has been an amazing journey. Please let us finish with Undead Paladins, Dwarf Shamans. Just one last departure gift from us. So obviously we want those. So, Aggrend, if you're watching, please give it to us. I really want them, and I think a lot of the community does. But anyway, those are that's what that thread is referring to, I believe, at the initial post. I've looked through that Blue Sky, and I have not seen anything else that is close to that. But to me, with the SOD Saviors, right, I've streamed every single raid, our entire progress. The Tuesday raid started off needing multiple days, progressing exactly as Aggrend said. Last week, after we killed Beatrix and people got their second chalice from people doing the weeklies, and we had geared everyone with 2 set and actually did loot council and distribute the gear very well, we have bounced between 25 to 30 people for that raid after the first Calderon kill. First 2 weeks we brought 35 to 40. We've combined both our teams. We sent everyone and everything we had just to kill Calderon. I thought it was an amazing achievement. Killing Reborn Council unnerfed and killing Calderon are 2 of my guild's greatest achievements, and I couldn't be more proud of everything that I've created and we've created throughout all of SOD, and just the journey. It literally was one of my honest proudest wow moments, getting that satisfaction, because we put in so much time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, consumables, gold. I threw everything we had at it, and we met the challenge, and we were able to kill it. Sure, we did it with 35. You can say whatever, but that's how, if you're not good enough, just get more people. That is it. That is the solution. A buff would be good. And I will say, after trying to make my Wednesday group and go back at it, we've struggled these past 2 weeks getting 2 out of 8 and 3 out of 8, and it made me want to look for the buff, but we dove into the logs, we dove into recruitment, and tonight we should have a 30-man team be able to do it. I get why all the casual people want the buff, and I get why the power spike is there, and it would be nice for alts, because if you don't have those 2 to 4 sets, 4 set is really where a lot of classes turn on and have that insane damage power spike. So I really would like to see the buff still. I'm okay with the buff personally. But to just put Aggrend on blast like this, like, he honestly, reading his thread and what he said and seeing the Sod Saviors go from multiple night raids on our main team to last night we had essentially a 2-hour clear. We had to pause so we could go and open up an extra Amos for someone to get their Ashbringer before we killed Calderon. But we literally one-shot every boss except Lillian, which we only wiped because I was bad and had wild strikes on my chest, so Lillian actually blasted me. But we had almost a 2-hour full clear of SE if we didn't have that break. With one wipe, and that is a lot of people turning on their 6 sets, completing Ashbringers, and so much SE gear that we have just sort of hit that point and progressed in about 5 resets of the raid. So I really see what he was saying, and I can say that's my experience. Like, that is what we went through. We were able to hit that point. So unless you're truly a dad guild that just sat there and brought your 20 and did 2 out of 8 every week and made absolutely no changes, didn't look at logs, didn't try to improve, just sat there on the forums like Arcanos and just complained all day, every day for 5 weeks and probably didn't progress, didn't do anything, that's the situation you might be in. And I am empathetic to a degree, and I still think that the buff should be added now at this point for people that are trying to do ults, trying to experience it, because after you go through that suffering and that progress of the initial raid and making a raid team, then trying to do it again on alts or other characters, that is where it really does kind of suck, and you start to feel the intensity of it. And eventually we'll get gear, but I'm not going to give up on our Wednesday raid, and we'll be live tonight. But those are just my thoughts and opinions. I just think it's ridiculous that people are like saying, oh, he refuses his ego, when my experience has been just straight up proving, like, straight up correct, like, word for word. That thread I shared was my exact experience with the Sod Saviors and our main raid team. So anyway, guys, I truly hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.